Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 between the two players of Liereyy and Yo. Liereyy is playing in the blue as the Vietnamese, and then his enemy over on the eastern side of the map is Yo playing as the Turks. So, the map is Atacama, of course a very open map, forcing players to go and fight for this middle woodland region. There are sparse trees spread out throughout the map, but always super inefficient when you start collecting those up. Taking a look at maps, obviously this map is a very open map. We do see players try to wall off, but likely we'll see small walls around lumber camps, around gold mines, and around stone mines. Once town centers can get dropped, we do see a little bit more ability to wall up an entire side, but it is very unlikely. I'm just going to speed up a little bit as we go through the Dark Age and take a quick look at what we can expect. So, of course, the Vietnamese has become a very strong powerhouse civ with their rattan archers, very good anti-archer civilization. Turks not known for their archers at all, but more so known for their gunpowder units. I'd love to see some Janissaries out early. Such a strong Castle Age unit, able to do such big damage output so early if you can get that castle up. But we'll see exactly whether that will happen or whether it won't. Both players, of course, just scouting around with their scouts. Yo looking a little bit more into the base of Liereyy, and Liereyy, as fast as he is, he's not going to let the scout get anywhere near that town center. Liereyy now going out, scouting out a little bit, seeing exactly where Yo is. Interestingly enough, Liereyy actually a little bit ahead right now. Both the same amount of villagers, both very close, but points-wise, it looks like Liereyy has a little bit more exploration that has been completed. If we look at the Fog of War, he knows exactly what's around his base, he knows where all of his resources are, and now he knows where the town center is. Of course, the biggest advantage playing as the Vietnamese is you know exactly where the town center of the enemy is, and you can see that town center right off the bat, right when you get started. And what do we have here? Yo moving forward, attacking the scout with those villagers before he drops a lumber camp. Okay, not doing a forward, but on the other hand, we do see militia coming out already for Liereyy, as the Turk player is just putting down a barracks now. 3 militia will already be out for Liereyy. Yo, due to that, is just slightly further ahead to get to the next age. Both of them do have loom already. A stable being dropped. Let's see if any damage can be done to these two villagers. Smartly walling in his villagers, and those militia and that scout will not be able to break through at this point in time. That stable will definitely go up if Yo can, yes, fully wall himself in. And villagers actually happy to take that fight against a scout, not happy to take this fight against a scout and a militia. Yo losing a villager, and now he has man-at-arms in the back of his base. The stable is now up. We'll see just what Yo can do in response. A scout immediately coming out, and the scout of Liereyy is down, but 3 man-at-arms are still up. Very weak builders up front here. Lumber camp is a little bit off the wall right now, and Yo has a villager deficit. He is 1 behind right now, able to engage with all 3 villagers, but still faces the possibility of losing this male villager right here. Scout will come back and will provide enough defense to get oh no, villager goes down, and man-at-arms goes down right afterwards. An archery range is already placed for Liereyy, and he will be sending archers forward very shortly. Vietnamese having very strong archers, very strong skirmishers, and their anti-archer unit, the rattan archer. Of course, playing as the Turks, scouts are a good move, always. With those upgrades that come along in the next age, it always puts you a little bit ahead. And then also cavalry archers, you do sometimes see the switch into that. And with the upgrades on the bloodlines and the speed with husbandry, sometimes that can help out with the cavalry archers as well. And now Yo is just nervous. You can tell, nervous to be moving around. He is moving forward with 4 scouts. Will he be able to catch any of these villagers on the woodline? Looks like this woodline is open. He has caught them out as a tower is going up in his base. These villagers are fighting back, but 1 goes down, 2 goes down. This archer might just go down too. No, they decide to engage with the villager. That's 3 villagers down, and that is well worth it there, as this tower is now up. 3 archers, 1 spearman forward, and 1 archer, 2 spearmen in Lierey's base. And now Yo with a villager lead. He is 1 ahead and picks off another archer caught out. 1 HP left. Taking a quick look at the food and gold. Liereyy a little bit ahead when it comes to food count. He is looking to save up to get to the next age, obviously, eventually, but not in a massive rush as of yet. We'll see if either player is able to pick off any more villagers, do any more damage. Already Liereyy is pre-walling. The one benefit against fighting against scouts in your base is that they cannot reach over the walls. However, these 5 archers, fletching is not in yet, but those 5 archers can engage, and they can cause a lot of damage to your villagers. These scouts, fairly useless right now, especially with all the spearmen that are in the back of Lierey's base. He's got archers, he's choosing to clump them up before sending them out. As a blacksmith now getting dropped. A couple skirmishers out for Yo. And already 4 villagers on stone. He's definitely going to be looking at going into a castle, or at least town centers in the castle age. With that tower already put up, he would otherwise not be able to afford it. Both players now getting fletching as the skirmishers are starting to mass up for Yo. Still not enough to engage against this force, but getting very close. If the spearmen are able to get in close, that will cause damage. But a couple of weak armored archers should be able to get picked off. The skirmishers having to flee back as the scouts are in. But with that many spearmen, not sure how this engagement will go for Yo. I would prefer to leave just skirmishers to engage against this force. These scouts will lose a lot of HP when they engage against these spearmen. 1 spearman picked off, and the scout looks like he does want to engage, or maybe even just convince Liereyy that he wants to engage, so that Liereyy bites a little bit more than he would have otherwise, as he is now down to 3 spearmen, 3 archers, the archers at low HP, the spearmen fairly high HP, all things considered. And the spearmen engage, 2 scouts immediately fall down, and the rest of this army should be cleaned up by the chase. Villager-wise, Yo, 3 villagers ahead. Militarily, they are fairly even. Once this archer goes down, and possibly even this other one, we will see a very even armor number. And of course, the Vietnamese player is now up to the castle age, on his way to crossbows, on his way to collecting up, eventually getting to the rattan archers if he chooses to go to. Another option, of course, that the Vietnamese have are their elephants. Very strong against most units. Hard to counter if not by the use of monks and pikes. Especially when Turks can't really engage that well with their pike line, and they do not have their own elephants to defend. But still, Yo, not yet in the next stage, having to construct another watchtower just to be safe. So his wood line will be protected in the front. His main gold is protected in the back. Very important for gold to be protected. And he is on the way up to Castle Age, but he will be very far behind. Only 10% of the way up right now. Still trying to cause as much damage as possible with these scouts. But with spearmen out on the field, unable to do too much. Only 3 villagers still on stone for Yo, playing as the Turks. This does look like he is not looking to drop a castle right off the bat. More so, will create maybe 1-2 town centers and see where the boom can take him. Taking a look at Liereyy. He has his second archery range up, already bodkin arrow, already crossbow. No second town center yet, but he does have skirms and scouts in the back of his base. These villagers are good as gone, and Liereyy is not even going to engage against that, other than with the villager not going to bite yet, until these upgrades are fully in for his crossbows. But the one thing he does know is that Yo is forward. That means there is no one protecting at home, as Yo now is building his second stable, still engaging up front with these skirmishers. The main gold denied right now, and suddenly Yo is thinking he's pretty smart for putting this watchtower here earlier, because it will be able to combat against these crossbows in his base, as skirmishers and now light cavalry engaging against villagers not quite massed enough to fully take them out, as the villagers are able to engage back with the military, and knights coming out, Turkish knights coming out against the crossbows. The main crossbow army of Liereyy has run to the south, and the entire army of Yo is cleaned up in the back of Lierey's base. Yo does have a 6 villager lead right now. No second town center as of yet for Liereyy. And when we look at Yo, he is just first building his second town center right now. Still collecting more stone. He could build a third one at this point in time once he gets the wood for it. Now that 6 villager lead for Yo, that is big, because what it means is he is investing in villagers and not in military. Take a look at this difference in count. And so he is in a position in which he needs to make sure that he is taking good engagements and not losing his villagers. His villager lead is the only thing keeping him in the game, and will continue to keep him in the game as long as he keeps this mass of crossbows out of his base. That military is 30 crossbows to just 6 military for Yo. These 5 knights unable to get in on the front of Lierey's base, but the crossbows are forced to come back. This is going to play right into the hand of Yo to make sure that he's not getting attacked. But with his move into knights, Liereyy chooses to go for pikemen in defense. Already getting the first armor upgrade. The pikemen will get defense, and they will be able to engage against these knights, and obviously a lot cheaper to make. Interesting choice now for Yo. He does have a forward monastery, maybe expecting something other than these crossbows, because obviously monks not the greatest against crossbows. But we'll see what his plan of attack is, as the second town center is now going up for Liereyy. These knights are running away, but they will be caught out by the crossbows that did return. However, it looks like it might be worth it. All of the time that Yo has been able to buy himself, the villager kills, his villager count going up by 12 now. He has a lead of 12 villagers. That is huge in the grand scheme of things, especially at this point in the game when economies are fragile. speaking of economies, still just the 2 town centers for Yo. He does have this very safe wood line here that he can continue to collect from. However, when we look at Lierey's town center, he chose to place it on the stone. He will be saving up for a castle, no doubt. Already has 4 villagers on stone, so he will be looking to save up. These crossbows not wanting to get too close. Liereyy obviously well known for having very good micro, so he does stay back, stay in the safety of the range of the mangonel. Looks like Yo is just trying to buy space, trying to save up as much as possible, make sure that Liereyy is unable to engage on these wood lines, unable to collect from the wood lines, unable to win the game because he will be unable to collect enough resources via the wood lines. The issue, of course, being, yes, these scorpions are able to take out the pikemen, but can they do it fast enough? Doesn't look like it. The pikemen able to get in close to the mangonels, now running back, not wanting to engage as of yet with the crossbows, just with that siege. 1 mangonel, 1 skirmisher, still enough for now to push back the main army, as another scorpion is coming out, and a few very, very weak crossbows up in the front here. They will start to get picked off even with near misses, and that will really, really improve the chances of Yo moving forward. Taking a quick look at villager counts, and the difference is astounding right now. We have 16 more villagers for Yo than what we have for Liereyy. And on the other side of things, there is nearly a 20 military lead for Liereyy. However, 1 good shot can change that from this mangonel. Can he get it out? Not quite. Weak crossbows here, but the pikeman now able to get in close. The monk gets 1 conversion, but it'll die immediately. Pikeman will die immediately, and suddenly this massive crossbows looks very scary. Villagers now coming forward. What are they gonna drop? Let's take a look at exactly where the castle's getting built, right on the monastery, and there's nothing that Yo can do right now to engage against that. Does have a mangonel out on the field right now. Maybe 1 good shot. Fantastic shot, actually. Great attack ground there from Yo. Able to engage, take out as many of those crossbows as possible. That is massive. Another good shot, not perfect, but still successful. Mangonel will now go down. It did pay for itself in buying time. Obviously, that has been the name of the game for a while, and now a castle getting placed in defense on the wood line for Yo. But pikemen are in the back of his base. Only 3 military right now for Yo, and they are scattered 1 by 1 all over the place. Luckily, this tower will be able to take out the pikemen, and the knight will help to finish it off. 1 mangonel only against 20 crossbows, as the knights are still raiding in the back of Lierey's base. One thing that I did miss, so caught up in that forward aggression, that knight, those 2 knights were able to do quite a bit of damage, and forcing Liereyy off of gold, obviously a big deal. Good shot once again, and that 20 crossbow army is now only 16, and it is decreasing as all of them are weakened on their HP. But Rattan archers already out on the field. These things so strong, and once they get their upgrades, just very formidable. However, these 2 knights should be able to engage against them and do quite a bit of damage. Before the upgrades come in, of course, they do have 4+2 range, 8+1 from the castle, and still trying to get some picks with this army of 16 crossbows. They might just pick off this. Oh, Yo notices. He runs to the side. He knows to stay away. And the knights are coming forward. The Rattan archers will have to run. Little bit of a mistake there from Liereyy running underneath the town center. That's 2 free kills for Yo. Of course, he did pay for it in idle time, but at this point in the game, idle time not being quite as vital as it was earlier on in the castle age. These villagers were coming forward, no doubt to drop a castle, but unable to drop it. They will start to fall even more. And look at these villager counts. Yo with a 50 villager lead. And his castle is going to get denied because a castle is getting dropped by Yo instead of Liereyy. Liereyy having to run back, and Liereyy with that calls the GG. That was just a consistent play by Mr. Yo, adding in that second town center early on and continuing to produce, continuing to raid, continuing to engage. He was able to weather the storm of the larger army of Liereyy, and then we got to a point where Yo had twice the villagers as Liereyy. Insanity.